Hello everyone, and welcome to another PAX East 2017 Focus Games Roundup. Because Focus Games is our best of show thing. We do 4 PAX East and just events in general. We started it with PAX West. So, I'm totally off my game. So we sent Justin to the frozen wasteland that was Boston, Massachusetts for PAX East 2017 this previous weekend. So yeah, Justin here to talk about assorted games, but we have myself, Josh. We have Thaddeus here.
Yo.
And Justin, what is our final first game?
Our final first game is Songbringer, which if you're... I mentioned either in a video before or after this. So, Josh, I want you... Do you have the Steam page up?
I don't have the Steam page up. Should I have the Steam page up?
Go to the Steam page up. We're going to have you read something.
Okay, so what am I reading?
Or not. Go to the bottom. Go to About This Game. I want you to read that.
Just the whole thing?
Yeah, just the whole thing. It's not that long.
Okay, Songbringer, procedural action RPG. Songbringer is a sci-fi action RPG with swords, secrets, dungeons, bosses, and stuff. You play the role of protagonist and accidental hero of Rock Epimetheus.
That's why I didn't want to read it. Keep going.
With a propensity for partying and making music. He cruises the galaxy with his skybot Jib aboard the ship Songbringer, searching for verdant planets absent the presence of galactic police. When Rock finds the nanosword hidden in a cave of Xera, he unwittingly awakens an ancient evil. The sword is pretty fragging sweet, though. It hums.
There you go. So that is Songbringer. So
this sounds almost sounds like Brutal Legend to me in some regards.
The humor of it kind of is, except it's more aware of itself. Like, I'll kind of get into that. Well, I guess I'll get into it now. Like, there are certain abilities you can do. One I had in the build I played was a dash, and every time I dash, it's just like, I love doing that. They understand, but they actually say it in game too. So, yeah, this game is pretty cool if you're an OG Zelda fan. Like, this is pretty much what you're playing. Every bit about it's like the overworld, the map, how you enter dungeons, even do this, the little as you like kind of descend down it.
I mean, it even looks like it has a heart system on the upper left. But
there is a heart system. You go into dungeons, you kill bosses, you get one additional piece to your life. So stuff like that, and you also get the ability in each dungeon. Now, cool thing about this game, it is procedurally generated, as in the world is on every new game you play. So it doesn't build itself as it goes along. It builds itself after you start a new game.
All right, cool. And it looks like there's a permadeath mechanic, so you might be seeing a whole mess of new worlds.
Very possible. Yeah, if you want to play that way.
It also looks like there's two choices, permadeath and normal.
Yes. And like it plays just like one too. Like, as far as the action goes, well, actually, it's a little faster paced as far as it, like a little more loose. When you just kind of swing your sword around. Rock wears a top hat. He throws it at people. It's great. He swings the Songbringer about, which, by the way, you can pick up or you don't have to. It's up to you.
You know, you mentioned it, Josh, but Brutal Legends meets Zelda. That sounds kind of accurate.
That's what this sounds like and looks like. So wait, you were saying the chosen sword of the game you don't actually have to pick up?
Nah.
Okay.
You don't have to. And actually, cool thing about like saying parts I missed and experience, and you can also tackle the dungeons in any way, and well, that's procedural generated. You don't have to have one thing to get to the other. And I kind of saw this by the first time I played this, which is something happened. Who wanted to talk to me while I was there wasn't there, and the time went up, but I did get to play it. I played a dungeon, and actually, I played 2 dungeons. Fought the 2 bosses they wanted me to fight, and then second time I actually saw a completely different part of the game that I completely missed that was story driven.
Wow.
Like, there is a story I completely missed it on the first part. Second part I played, like, oh wow, there's actually narrative to this too.
The fact that you can miss the story is really cool, because that's actually something I really am liking about Breath of the Wild right now, that you can play it and completely be unaware of anything going on, but you're just playing.
Yeah. So that seems to be a really common theme lately, where the story just kind of takes a backseat to the gameplay.
Well, it's what we discussed in a previous video. There's we were talking about how there is it's nice to have pure gameplay games. It's nice to have story-driven games, but the idea of having games that can accomplish both, where you're getting your choice almost.
Yeah.
Whether by intent or otherwise.
Yeah. It just what was the first one that really did it? I think Metal Gear Solid 5 had.
Well, I wouldn't say the first, but that was definitely a huge one.
at the start of like the most recent string of all these
Hmm.
different games. Like Metal Gear did it, and Final Fantasy 15 also did it, and
Mhm.
now Zelda's doing it.
Well,
15's lesser.
I felt a majority part, at least for me, for Final Fantasy 15 wasn't really doing the story. It was looking around and doing different quests first.
Agreed.
And that's what I did more of than the story.
Agreed on that. So, but
No, I would say that this is more like Skyrim or Zelda, recent Zelda.
Okay.
It's like you could just ignore it or just run about and just hack things. So, Rock is traveling around with his little skybot Jib. By the way, extra note: Jib is obsessed with mustaches, as it does not have the ability to grow one. It's a little orb. Cool thing about this too, Jib. When you kill things, they explode. Jib goes, scans them, and that's kind of how you get loot and supplies and stuff like that.
Okay.
Fancy.
But there is a co-op mechanic to this, couch co-op, where a player can control Jib. It's kind of, I guess the best way to point that out, it's kind of like Mario Galaxy, where one person is controlling Mario, another one is like shooting the stars and collecting them.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of like that.
Yeah, it sounds really neat, like that kind of situation. So it's like it's not co-op where you're throwing a second rock into the world and making this inexplicable kind of paradox kind of thing. You are still part. Essentially, you're just taking on a role that was previously occupied by the AI.
Yes. So let's say somebody who's not really into games can kind of just jump into you and just still have a good time instead of just watching you.
So it's like playing Ratchet and Clank, except you're playing as Clank.
Kinda.
That's the first thing. It's the first thing that came to mind.
But I mean, as far as an approximation. But no, what you're saying, like if you're playing a game and your significant other is maybe they even are a gamer, but they're just not into normally that style game, but you still want to play it and include them in some way, shape, or form. Well, you can play as Jib and actually still we can interact and yell at each other about things not going right.
That's kind of like how I mentioned, like Mario Galaxy is the best example I can give for that.
No, that's a good example of.
But yeah, as Zelda goes, and as I mentioned, like Super Zelda, like even like just holes cut out in the landscape you go down, and like there's shops. They're laid out the exact same way. 3 items, the price. You walk on in to pick it up. It's awesome. The build I played, like I mentioned the 2 bosses. One was like super manageable, pretty much one of the first bosses you fight, and then decided to throw in one they kind of considered your mid-tier boss. Like if you're playing the game in order, this would be like the middle one you fight. They're actually, the guy watched me. I actually beat it the second time through. First time he whooped my ass. Second time through, I beat it. Dude was like, "Wow, I did not see anybody actually do that in the show yet." It's like, yeah, I like games. So
I just like that. I like games.
That is my only response. But there's a lot of cool abilities.
That'll be on your trophy.
He finds satisfaction in taking a game and being like, "I'm gonna make you my bitch."
Pretty much.
So.
It's really fun to play. I like any game that has a dash mechanic for some reason, and this one has a dash and slash crap like that. And as mentioned, as you do it, like Rockwell actually mentions, like I love doing that. It's kind of almost like a Deadpool sense of humor throughout the game. Like it knows what it is. God, that's kind of the best way. Like it knows what it is, but doesn't kind of like mention, "Hey, I am a game" at the same time.
Gotcha,
that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Really weird story that I can't even begin to describe because I missed it the first time I played it. But there's a point like you're going through this crazy acid trip of a Zelda, and then there's like a cutscene where you're like in an office, business suits, just talking, and I'm not quite sure what was going on. So,
so there might be like an underlying real world story kind of thing. So this might actually take on a fantasy aspect.
Yeah, you could just be a dude in a coma. Who knows? Or just a dude in an acid trip, which is probably more likely.
Or maybe Rock is having the acid trip of the guy in the business suits.
Could
have a reverse thing.
Like,
hey,
yeah.
Man, the entire plot of Driver San Francisco was dude was in a coma, so
that had a plot.
Wait,
what? That had plot.
Was that the one that you like transport into other people's mind? That's where Driver lost me. Anyways,
he was in a coma, and you could like warp into other people, and then at the end of the game, you're out of the coma, and you still have to do that. And I'm like, wait, I can't shift anymore.
There was a lot of flaws with that game.
Once I had a paranormal element to this, stunt driver game.
So okay, let me ask you a question then about Songbringer. So it's like saying, I'm reading through the press the press site here, and it's a procedurally generated overworld and dungeons, and it states specifically a world contains 1 overworld, 10 dungeons, and 13 primary bosses. So my understanding of this is a game where every adventure is a unique experience.
Yes, as I mentioned, like every time you start a new game,
mm-hmm.
it generates everything.
Yeah, and watching the trail looks like there are codes you can put in for world seeds, random letters. So it seems like a game where somebody's going to have a really cool adventure, and then they're going to share on their, share wherever and be like, oh, you got to put in this code because this adventure was really neat.
That's interesting.
Kind of thing.
Like that.
So it seems like there's definitely like an asynchronous multiplayer aspect to it, like the story kind of aspect.
Yeah, it seems like they're kind of like setting this up for like speed running as well. So as far as like the code goes, like it does keep your time to complete, percentage of the map uncovered, percentage of items obtained, and and the game modes are regular versus permadeath.
Neat. I mean, like this just sounds like a really fun. I mean, it sounds like actually just a fun game for streamers.
Yeah.
Just because you can just keep playing it over and over and over again until you get, I guess, bored with the mechanics or something like that.
Yeah.
But...
Oh, speaking of procedurally generated, the music is procedurally generated.
Is it?
I've heard that many times from so many different places. And for the life, I still don't understand how that works.
I was listening to it and I still don't understand how that works.
I mean, it's essentially based on so stuff is ascribed to certain things, is my understanding, but it changes based on how you're playing and aspects of that. Is that essentially what?
I'm going to say developers called Wizard Foo, and damn, do they live up to that?
They are wizards of the Foo.
I guess so. I mean,
no.
I haven't played it, so I can't really say anything. It doesn't make sense when you talk about it, though. I can tell you that much. It doesn't make any fucking sense to me.
Now, as far as the game looks, the game is beautiful pixel art, different but beautiful. Like the best thing I could compare it to now, even though we'll have videos, you can look at videos, is Super Brothers Sword and Sorcery. At first, I thought like if the art style was so similar, I thought it was almost the same developer, but it's not. But it looks pretty much like that.
Yeah, I think during our rough cut video, you were very determined it was them.
Yeah, so it's kind of like it does awesome pixel art, but with bigger pixels.
Yeah, because it's kind of got a smudged aspect. Maybe is kind of what I'm thinking of.
It's like 8-bit versus 16-bit.
Yeah, I guess that would be definitely the way to look at it. It's like because not in a bad way, but it's got this kind of like this little. I want to say oil painting kind of effect.
It looks like a
things have edges
mixed with motion blur to me. Which
oh no, that's the acid trip part.
That is
happens.
it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It happens.
I mean, it
times.
doesn't look bad. It just that's the first thing that came to mind.
Mm-hmm. So all right.
It's awesome though. Like I highly recommend looking into it. Well, I guess we're going to get into the final thoughts. Which do y'all have any more questions about it?
No.
Can you play as that other dude in the image? Like it shows the main guy with the sword holding it up, and then there's somebody next to him.
Oh, kind of looks like Goku a little bit, honestly.
A little bit. That
I don't know Dragon Ball Z.
The hair, yeah.
That I do not know. We did not talk about it. I did not see it in the build I played.
Okay. All right.
Fair enough. So then, if you have additional thoughts, obviously, but platforms and release window.
Platforms is everything. Well, by everything I mean PC, Mac, Linux as well. PS4, Xbox One.
And then it looks like Apple App Store and Google Play Store as well. At least is what's being listed on their press page.
Yeah, so that'll be kind of like the Mac, and I guess. Oh, you can still get Linux. Never mind. I don't know why it's associating that with Android.
Well, it is worth mentioning. It looks like it is already on Steam Greenlight, and it's been on there for a little while. The beta version was released on Steam in February 21st, 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it is currently out. It's just they will be finalizing it when they know that they will be finalizing it.
Yeah, they're aiming for summer 2017. It was kickstarted, met their goal, was greenlit.
Yeah, I see that there.
If you want to get it now, I believe you can go to their website, which is just songbringer.com. And there's a $16 or a $32 version, which I think they're only doing that for Steam at the moment.
Okay. Well, I mean,
you can pre-order. Yeah, you could go ahead and pre-order, get a Steam key, pretty much.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I mean, that's cool. Yeah, so yeah, it looks like the $32 option.
I love it. Sorry, I just read that. A complete PDF map of one world.
So it's a PDF map of one world. Compared to the fact that there are so many permutations.
Yeah, biggest thing about that though is you $32 version you can actually play the beta right now. So or you can go and start playing it now.
Yeah, so he's paying more to get in right now. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, then I think that about covers everything. So, Thank you, everyone, for joining us for this, our final PAX East 2017 Focus Games.
Or first,
or third, or second, or eighth. So yeah, in any case, thank you for joining us for this. As always, you could find this content and all of our other PAX East content and all of our other video content at youtube.com/concalpod. We do regular content on twitch.tv/constantly calibrating. Facebook is, constantly calibrating. Twitter is at concalpod. Let's throw out Instagram again. That's constantly calibrating. And then with that, bid you good sign off.
It's such a mouthful.